Save existence, they had nothing in common. Came in touch on no single point. Weatherby was a clerk who had known naught but clerking all his life. Cuthbert was a master of arts, a dabbler in oils, and had written not a little. The one was a lower-class man who considered himself a gentleman, and the other was a gentleman who knew himself to be such. From this it may be remarked that a man can be a gentleman without possessing the first instinct of true comradeship. The clerk was as sensuous as the other was aesthetic, and his love adventures, told at great length and chiefly coined from his imagination, affected the supersensitive master of arts in the same way as so many whiffs of sewer gas. He deemed the clerk a filthy, uncultured brute, whose place was in the muck with the swine, and told him so. And he was reciprocally informed that he was a milk-and-water sissy and a cad. Weatherby could not have defined cad for his life, but it satisfied its purpose, which after all seems the main point in life. Weatherby flattered every third note and sang such songs as the Boston Burglar and the Handsome Cabin Boy for hours at a time, while Cuthbert wept with rage till he could stand it no longer and fled into the outer cold. But there was no escape. The intense frost could not be endured for long at a time, and the little cabin crowded them, beds, stove, table and all, into a space of 10 by 12. The very presence of either became a personal affront to the other, and they lapsed into sullen silences which increased in length and strength as the days went by. Occasionally, the flash of an eye or the curl of a lip got the better of them, though they strove to wholly ignore each other during these mute periods. And a great wonder sprang up in the breast of each as to how God had ever come to create the other. With little to do, time became an intolerable burden to them. This naturally made them still lazier. They sank into a physical lethargy, which there was no escaping, and which made them rebel at the performance of the smallest chore. One morning, when it was his turn to cook the common breakfast, Weatherby rolled out of his blankets, and to the snoring of his companion lighted first the slush lamp and then the fire. The kettles were frozen hard, and there was no water in the cabin with which to wash. But he did not mind that. Waiting for it to thaw, he sliced the bacon and plunged into the hateful task of bread-making. Cuthbert had been slyly watching through his half-closed lids. Consequently, there was a scene in which they fervently blessed each other and agreed thenceforth that each do his own cooking. A week later, Cuthbert neglected his morning ablutions, but nonetheless complacently ate the meal which he had cooked. Weatherby grinned. After that, the foolish custom of washing passed out of their lives.